Hi, I'm Jello.
And I'm Tommy.
And episode 6 is playing some tricks, so let's go full moon.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about who wore it better.
No, we're going to talk about the Mini Moon Minute. Let's go!
There are no distortions in space, or are there?
Professor Tomoe is making diamonds, and Pharaoh 90 needs more hosts and wants Sailor Moon's power.
Kaoli Knight sends level 404 witch Telu to get done.
Usagi is still sad the Guardians aren't unified.
Makoto buys a Telun, a fashionable plant from the Mugen Academy.
Chibiusa wants to give a present to Hotaru, and Usagi wants to tag along and they talk the tea.
Hotaru starts going through it, but Chibiusa's silver crystal makes Hotaru and whatever else is inside her feel Fia.
Usagi goes for a pee-pee, then a snoop-snoop, then gets a cold introduction to Professor Tomoe. Then, bye girl!
The Telun plant is budding quickly and ready to seed.
Please, Usagi, no photos, and no talking.
The Mugen hothouse is giving evil vibes, so the girls decide to investigate.
The Telun plant is spreading its evil seed citywide, which forces a reincarnated Setsuna to awaken.
Intersenshi make up! Telu is green and on the scene.
Mars, snake, fire!
Venus, wing chain sword.
Mercury, aqua mirage!
And a level 404 dodge.
Mandragora, buster!
Jupiter, coconut cyclone.
Stopped.
Moon, spiral, heart attack.
Nope.
Chibi Moon prays for help and Luna P answers her prayer with a moon rod.
Pink sugar, heart attack. Telu shows and she's so fine and goes for Chibi Moon and her crystal.
Tuxedo Mask, save her.
Dead scream and the weed gets whacked.
Oh, hey girl. So we had a change to the very beginning in the intro song. We actually got a new voice, and I don't really like it. You know that I wasn't really a fan of the brand new intro song from the beginning, and this new voice kind of made it weaker for me.
It kind of has a grandma-ish vibe to it. It's not as young and vibrant anymore, and there's a bit of a change to the instrumentation.
I've heard that actually the voice who sings the new intro song is the voice of Sailor Galaxia from the original anime.
What? Now the ending song, I do love it. It's a very marchy, positive vibe to it. It's very pro-girl, and it's if you listen to the lyrics, it's cheering on a young girl and encouraging her to be her best. And so I do love it, especially now with the dark theme and tone of this season. It's a nice way to kind of end it with something bubbly and cute and fun.
And it's always really good. I mean, we said it last episode, is that Chibiusa is getting a lot of screen time, and she's really a strong character, so I really like that they're highlighting her, especially in the ending song. And it's so cute and so catchy. I thought the Uranus and Neptune song was catchy, but this one I am humming along every day. Telu is insane. She really tore up and then pretty much like took everyone's attack like a man.
And chomped it up and took it to the attack buffet and then busted out a Mandragora buster and ripped some shit up.
And at one point, I was actually a little bit concerned. I was like, okay, here comes Sailor Moon with her moon spiral heart attack. Nope, she just like spun her finger and ate the thing up. And then Chibiusa got her new attack, which is actually kind of cute.
It's cute. It's kind of like a Happy Meal version of the moon spiral heart attack. And of course,
she ate it like I eat a fucking
ate it like a pro, like a supersized pro ho. Way to go, Telun.
And the thing that I really liked about it is that finally we saw that Sailor Moon actually can't kill everyone.
No, she can. She needs some extra help. And that came in the form of someone who was dead, apparently. Sailor Pluto coming back on the scene. We didn't get to see the whole attack spell, as we've seen with Neptune and Uranus, but we have seen a nice foreshadowing to it.
We actually haven't seen the full attack spell.
You know what?
Uranus
We haven't.
Neptune.
We've seen the space sword.
We saw the space sword, and we saw the orbs.
Yeah.
And they teased us like they did with Pluto. So we actually haven't seen the Outer's full attacks yet, which is I kind of like the way they're doing that. Because they're keeping us on our toes, they're keeping us watching. So
a good level of mystery still with these big attacks, because of course the attacks are always the highlight of the season to see these brand new spells. But yeah, Pluto was able to beat a level 404 bitch, and Sailor Moon wasn't. So girl, what's good? Okay, now let's keep up with those Tomoes. What a crazy family they are. We're seeing that creepy GP professor himself with the one optical thing going on.
Still giving me Illuminati business.
And we've also seen Kaoli Knight. She actually seems to be having issues with both Hotaru and Professor Tomoe.
Yeah.
When they were talking to Pharaoh 90 together, she was a little bit upset with Professor Tomoe's action, and she almost had some sort of jealousy towards him, it seemed like.
Well, I'm a little bit confused. Like, who's the boss under him? Is it the professor or is it that redheaded bitch?
Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't know the dynamic. Maybe they're fighting. Maybe it's like a yin and yang thing. I don't really know. I don't really care, to be honest. I kind of think he's a wiener. I don't like him. I don't understand his character. He makes diamonds.
He's
like they're
shitty at what he's doing.
They're still trying to find the perfect ones. I mean, we've seen that the witches are
the perfect ones that he's made,
and they're getting knocked out one by one.
They're getting knocked out, but I mean, to their benefit though. I mean, there's always a new guardian coming in to kick their ass.
That's true.
They're not properly prepared. Those poor lovely girls never had a chance.
Now Hotaru, I want to talk about because we actually saw a little bit about her school life and how she was getting teased by people, right? Yes. And they kind of knock her down when she has her seizures. But the really crazy thing is her and Chibiusa are hanging out and Chibiusa wants to give her the chalice and then she has another seizure and then she just like reaches
for the crystal.
What a weirdo!
And then there's a deeper voice inside of her that really,
girl,
get the f off my family jewels,
hello?
Bitch. And then just a room away, Kaylee Knight is listening in to these two bitches, and that's triggering her desire to try and get that silver crystal as well too. This is a f***ed up family, and you know what? I would rather watch them though than the Kardashians. So I'll give them that.
No.
Fresh into our highlights, which I just had done today, thanks for noticing. I loved seeing today, even though we didn't have lots of Michiru and Haruka in this episode, it was kind of a low-carb edition of Michiru and Haruka. We did see them running away from Sagi and the inner Senshi. I kind of did love that part. We saw them in their civilian form, and they saw Usagi, and they just took the out of there. They're like, peace out, bitch. We don't want to hang out with you. You can't sit with us. I kind of thought it was cool to still see that animosity and distance between the inners and the outers.
I loved Haruka's Pretty Woman miniskirt. My highlight this episode was actually, I love the transformation sequence the best. So in the previous episodes, we saw all 5 or all 6 or all 19 or all 55 full transformations. And I always said, like, eventually when we finally see everyone's full transformation, they're gonna chop it down. And they actually did it so perfectly. Each one had a chunk fading into the next transformation until we got to the very end. Was it Chibi Moon the last one? She was the last one, right?
I think so, yeah. It blended nice and seamlessly.
Yeah, it started with Sailor Moon and it went to Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and ended with Chibi Moon in her pose. And only Sailor Moon got the speech, and it was brilliant. It was like 30 seconds. That's how the transformation needs to be. So we say this every week, but every episode has been getting better and better. And unfortunately for me, I think this was probably the weakest episode of this season. I'm gonna tell you why. Every episode I feel has had a good beginning, middle, and end. And this one, at the very end, Pluto came in, she attacked, and the episode like ended. It literally needed another 5 minutes because I didn't have an ending, and it was a little disappointing to me. So I know it's hard to say, it kind of hurts my heart, but I actually didn't really love this episode. It was strong to begin with. It had probably the strongest villain to date, and then it just cut off. I was pretty disappointed with it.
There didn't seem to be any real killer moment. Of course, last week we had Mercury rising up to the challenge. The week before we had the 2 outers revealing parts of their attack. It seems like more and more has been revealed, and this one seemed a little more stagnant. There hasn't really been any filler episodes in this season. This one, without saying it's been a filler episode, it feels like the most filler episode so far. Still a good effort, still love it, but I'm kind of looking forward to this season moving on with a faster pace. And we are 6 episodes in now, we're halfway through, so let's ramp some shit up, kids.
Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember, every Friday we're gonna be back with brand new recaps and reviews just for you.
And also a quick shout out to Justin Jappe for his lovely comment on our last video. Thanks again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let's get a good moon discussion as we go every week. Full moon.
And who wore the shirt better?
Me. Thanks so much for watching. If you missed last week's episode, click here for our recap of episode 5. Also, be sure to check out the Fake Nerd Guys for a gender-bent cosplay at its best. Facebook.com/Fake Nerd Guys. We'll see you next week.